This is WFYI News Now. It's Tuesday, February 3rd, and I'm Sarah Neal-Estes. Here are today's Central Indiana and statewide stories. Students around Indianapolis walked out of their schools Monday to protest federal immigration enforcement. In Noblesville, about 300 high school students marched to the city square. They chanted as they circled the old courthouse and gathered on the steps. 17-year-old student Ben says he's seen videos of violence by ICE officers against immigrants and citizens.
It's disgusting to see people claiming to be like law enforcement attack just everyday people doing nothing, just going about their lives.
In support of the protest, parent Tiffany Lane says she hopes it raises awareness.
I just hope that the world pays attention and the government pays attention, and we just learn to listen to our children and society on how to do things more in a peaceful way.
In Indianapolis, at North Central High School, students demonstrated outside an abandoned store on 86th Street. 17-year-old student Manny says he understands deporting criminals, but that's not what he's seeing.
I believe that innocent people who are trying to fix their own situations, who are trying to do things the legal way, shouldn't be having to suffer the consequences that other immigrants are causing in this country.
District officials say they respect the First Amendment rights of students, but anyone who is not in class could face disciplinary actions. Protests by students at more area high schools are expected this week. Residents of the historically Black neighborhood of Martindale-Brightwood are opposing a data center development there. Farrah Anderson reports a Monday meeting with the company did not change the community's mind.
The company Metroblocks wants to build a data center in the near Northeast Side neighborhood. Its staff told residents the startup is different from big tech corporations. Its center would be small and require fewer resources than larger hyperscale centers. The developer's staff and attorneys fielded residents' questions, but most left still opposed. Sierra Johnson is the vice president of One Voice Martindale-Brightwood. She says she still opposes the project, too.
We want Metroblocks to withdraw its proposal. We want them to go home and take their business with them.
The next rezoning hearing for the development is on February 12th. I'm Farrah Anderson in Indianapolis.
At the Statehouse, added support for people with medical debt may be approved this year. Democrats put forward similar bills in years past, and this year the issue is also receiving Republican support. Ben Thorpe has more.
Medical debt in Indiana reportedly tops $2 billion, with 1 in 5 residents having debt currently in collections. Republican Ed Charbonneau's bill is aimed at creating guardrails around medical debt to make sure Hoosiers know what resources are available to them. The bill requires hospitals to offer payment plans to people who meet certain income guidelines.
And all we're trying to do here is to make sure that they get paid by working out a payment plan.
Charbonneau acknowledged that most hospitals have payment plans, but says many people likely don't know about them. The bill also prohibits liens against a person's home as a consequence of medical debt. I'm Ben Thorpe at the Statehouse.
Speaking about that bill at the Statehouse, Democrat Fatty Cadora says he's worked for years to get one like it passed.
1.2 million Hoosiers hopefully will be positively impacted over the next few years by such legislation in every district, in every zip code across Indiana.
Democrats identified medical debt as one of their key issues coming into this legislative session. And our final story today is a conversation with a longtime Indiana Republican now leaving the party because he says it is, quote, unrecognizable. Republican State Representative Ed Clere represents a southern Indiana district across the river from Louisville. He's now not running for re-election to the Statehouse. He's running for mayor of New Albany as an independent. Reporter April Rickert had this conversation with him about his plans.
So you were first elected to the Indiana House of Representatives seat in 2008 and have run and won every term since then. Tell me about your decision not to do that this year.
Well, it was a difficult decision. I struggled with it for a long time. I just can't, in good conscience, continue to run as a Republican. So I decided I wouldn't run for re-election. to the House, and I decided to announce at the same time that I plan to run for mayor of New Albany as an independent candidate.
And speaking of that, running as an independent, I know that sometimes the bills you file and the way you vote hasn't always fallen in line with the majority of Republicans at the State House. How have you seen your role in the Republican Party, and has that changed over time?
Things have certainly changed since I arrived at the State House 18 years ago. But my focus throughout my time in the legislature has been to do my best to represent my constituents. Many of my bills have passed with overwhelming, if not unanimous, bipartisan support. No question, I've had a lot of bills that I've filed that haven't been well received and haven't advanced. But again, I'm doing my best to represent my district.
Last year, President Donald Trump pushed for Indiana to redraw congressional districts way ahead of the U.S. Census. You voted against that and were threatened at your home. Redistricting was ultimately voted down by the state Senate. But did the threat or the push to redistrict factor into your decision not to run again?
Not directly, but they were factors, especially the redistricting debacle. When I arrived at the State House in 2008, Indiana was relatively insulated from Washington politics, and that has changed over the years. And what happened with redistricting is an illustration of where we are. That the toxic politics of Washington, D.C. have made their way into Indiana. Things have become much more divisive, much more dysfunctional, and that's true at every level.
So you ran for mayor of New Albany in 2023 as a Republican and lost to Democratic incumbent Jeff Gahan. I don't know yet if he will be seeking a fifth term, but regardless, why do you want to try again, this time as an independent?
I'm excited about running for mayor. I'm excited about the possibilities. New Albany has so much untapped potential. When I ran in 2023, I had to consider party politics, and now I won't be bound by party politics. My only consideration as a candidate and hopefully as mayor will be what's best for the people of New Albany. Can I add one more thing? I want to come back to the beginning because I think it's important. I want to make it clear that my decision isn't about the people, it's about the party. My issue isn't with individual Republicans, rather it's with the direction of the party, which has become unrecognizable under Trump.
I've been talking with Indiana State Representative Ed Clere. Thank you, Representative.
You're welcome, April. I'm glad I was able to join you. Thank you for your time.
Since that conversation, Clere was kicked out of the House Republican caucus. House Speaker Todd Houston confirmed the change yesterday. His committee assignments will not be affected. That's all for this episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Kendall Antron produced our music. And if you liked today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to get the latest updates from our newsroom anytime. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.